today, Chris, to talk about the Federal Reserve. We've talked about that because our argument has been, if you're worried about deficits, just rein in the Fed. who would buy the debt? But that would be very, very difficult, and some people would suffer that probably didn't deserve to suffer. But they're into a financial bubble, and it's hard to turn it off, and that's what they're facing up to. So, Chris, today I would like to make a few suggestions on what we might do. Chris?
Exactly, Dr. Paul. Yeah, a lot of people ask, how do you end the Fed? What do you do? Well, it is a complicated question. It's actually simple, but it's complicated because, the first step on the roadmap is education for people to understand. And more people today, thanks to Dr. Paul, understand what we're dealing with the Fed. But there's still a lot more that need to at least have an easy understanding of what the Fed is. And the Fed is a monopoly created by the government. And it's the worst type of monopoly over money. Money is a market function. It's not a monopoly created by government, but government created this monopoly bank, and it counterfeits. And if you look at the Constitution, there's only like 3 or 4 federal crimes. One of them is counterfeiting. So the government created a bank that counterfeits money. And what does it do with the counterfeit money? It buys government bonds. And that's what enables our government to expand into what has become the biggest government in the history of the world. And it has a $6 trillion budget, 36 trillion in the red. It's buried itself in debt. This was so predictable. So what do you do? Well, the easy question is, if they created it with the Federal Reserve Act, just repeal the Federal Reserve Act. That's the simple answer. But it's really not that simple because the Fed has entrenched itself in our lives. It is a part of every economic transaction. It debases the money. It's the cause of the inflation. So just repealing the act, while it would be noble, it would cause a lot of harm, like Dr. Paul said. So, but in the meantime, there are things that we can do, and we're going to talk about it in the show.
And what's going on with the states, I think, is fantastic. Where the states, the Constitution says the states can't use anything else other than gold and silver as money. So therefore, states have been motivated, and I've encouraged them, is no corporate, no capital gains tax and no sales tax for buying a gold coin or a silver coin.